There is something uniquely human about the desire to keep pets. Well, not completely human. There are spiders that keep tiny frogs that eat some of the smaller bugs that may otherwise be pests. Mostly human, though. Assuming we are talking native species, there is evidence that some of the octopi introduced to our ecosystem by the angels to provide a biological communications network considered the scientists that had been experimenting on them as pets performing tricks. Still, it's a very human thing. We have kept pets since the dawn of time. In the modern world, dogs and cats were the most popular until a plague all but wiped them out. We have tried all kinds of things. Not everything we have kept could be domesticated, but we are stubborn. There was a time when wealthy idiots kept dangerous beasts. They used to call this kind of thing a flex. After the fall, we started keeping all kinds of bizarre creatures as pets. Most of these are a terrible idea, but none quite so dangerous as the lethal monsters we call rippers.
As Mr. McCormick mentioned, last episode, there was an offer made by Representative Curse. It's been about a week since that time. The TDF is gathering forces for an upcoming battle to free Dallas. Leaders have been careful not to explain in advance what's going to happen for fear of the enemy finding out. All most know is there's been a ceasefire with Curse and the recruiting for the TDF to make Texan more secure. Bastion has really come into its own. It's become a regional trading hub. No small part, so there have been a lot of battles involving the struggles with Curse. They've stopped over the past week. The ceasefire is held. Bastion would not be in the shape it was were it not for the protection offered by Nevad and by the sanctum created by Gordon. So at this point, we're going to have the three characters, which is Lord Nevad and Torg and Professor Pickles. You are all standing around a small television hooked to a bunch of technological gear. Pickles, you've been working with your contacts above. Now that you've got a wired system for communication in Central Texan, you've managed intermittent contact with the hovering city, which has offered support to Bastion. You fire it up, and I like to think this is janky enough that you've got one of the knights of Torg is actually on a one of those fixed bicycles to generate a power surge. So as the thing flickers to life, we actually see very, House of Frankenstein, lightning going through the various bits of circuitry. And for some reason, the TV is a CRT, and it does that sort of fade in thing, and you see the face of a cat. Meow. Testing meow. Pickles, can you hear me? Meow.
It appears to be working.
Excellent. So you know that this particular cat is one of your highest ranked techs. This is Nyan-san, and is one of the people that you refer to when your tech is not quite. Yours is more theoretical, as we've discussed. Nyan is more of an experimenter, a builder, a hacker. So this is the cat that if they were on a 3-hour tour and they ended up on an island with a broken boat and a couple of idiots, they could make a radio out of a coconut. That's not your training, but it is Nyan's training. I'm not sure how long this is going to remain. We're bouncing it through one of the few remaining satellites. Direct beaming wasn't working. The orbits are eccentric. There's a lot of garbage up there, so it's going to be interrupted eventually. So I'll get straight to it. Because we've slowly been able to force our way into the remaining satellites, we are occasionally able to get a photo. We've gotten some scans of Texon. Not what it would have been without all the static caused by the trash up there, certainly, and a lot of the equipment's degraded, but we can see a bit of what's going on now. And so the news for you is not great, which we've been monitoring the rate of skyfire. And as far as we can tell, in recent months, maybe the past 2, maybe 3, it's about 3 times earlier rates, maybe more. We're not sure if this is connected to some kind of agenda, but point being, because we have those shots, those aerial shots, we can tell you, as far as our data shows, you are currently the largest settlement that they could be monitoring, which means if they're trimming off the most dangerous, you're next on the list.
Well, that kind of expedites our situation, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, we know what you're going to attempt. The concern, of course, is the attempt will spark exactly the result you're trying to avoid. We're not sure that you're going to be in any situation to sever contact with the enemy or render the enemy unable to respond before they can react to an attack with an attack. So one thing you should consider, if you effectively destroyed your own settlement, you could make it look, at least from above, like the war had done it. So you would lose the progress you'd made in Bastion, but you get the people out.
That seems like the most logical situation.
I mean,
It is a shame.
It is, and we don't know why they're doing it, and we don't know for sure that they're going to strike you, because they haven't already. Although, like I said, because we get these glimpses of Texon, we're not seeing anything larger than what you've got. Anything that would have been larger or would have a higher power signature or anything like that, it's all gone. What's become of their homestead here is, it's become rather large. You've got 300-400. You've got outer walls. You have, you've begun to build outside the walls, standard pattern. You've got a hub, you have generators, you have backup. I'm concerned.
So what you're suggesting is we make it look as destroyed as possible, get everyone out, and abandon this place and move on before we make an assault.
Well, I'm not suggesting that, because honestly, we try to advise these people, but this is not our home. And this kind of decision is something they're going to have to make. All I'm doing is presenting options. I mean, you can try to hold out. Like you said, it's a damn shame, because the thing actually looks like a proper settlement. I mean, they're getting mail. They've got military defense. They've got walls, redoubt. They have a phone. To rip that down, it will save lives, but they spent lives to get where they are.
Yes, but if it's to be believed, then this is the next target anyway, and they'd lose it all.
But that's a guess. It's a guess. I don't know. All I can do is give you the information. I mean, I'm not in analytics. I'm in data collection, not in processing. I mean, you're one of the people I turn this information over to. Meow.
All right. Oh, well, this, unfortunately, does put us into a pickle.
I promise you I didn't set you up for that joke.
I do have my name for a reason.
Is it
All
true?
right.
Is it true you used to be Clarice?
It more or less. It's Pickles is more the nomenclature of, you know, the job I tend to get us in and out of.
Thus,
mhm.
I got you. It's like when they call the tall ones Stretch.
Yeah,
It's not their name, right?
exactly.
Fascinating. Yeah. All right. And that power armor, that was not a trick, was it?
Surprisingly enough, even to me, no, it definitely wasn't a trick. In fact, it came in handy for cleaning up a little bit of a mess that we might have made some odd years ago.
Well, good. And at this point, basically the signal is broken, so it goes immediately to static. And you look at the various little doodads attached, and you can confirm, being a scientist, yeah, you've lost the connection. It's going to be tenuous, so every once in a while you'll get a solid connection enough to beam a signal, and you've lost it.
Okay.
So you turn around, and I assume Navad and Torg are just kind of staring at this point.
Yeah, I assume all of that. How was that conversation in Cat?
No.
Oh, it was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have. The reason I wanted you in the room is they were going to talk to you as well.
Oh.
It would have been when they do that, they have those little boxes.
Gotcha.
That little like vocoders. So
Gotcha.
it was like blah blah blah
Okay.
blah. Right. Sorry,
Right.
I didn't describe that, but you did overhear all of that.
Okay, wasn't entirely sure if we were actually.
That's
If we were hearing it, or if that was
It kind of makes
Right,
sense.
right.
Like if we were shooting it, I think we'd have Pickles in front, and the two of you standing in the background, right?
sure,
But
Okay.
you definitely saw that whole meeting.
sure.
Okay,
Well, so we're here.
Well, you heard them. It is your settlement, and we are kind of here in not necessarily the most official capacity. I'm here because at this point, I have a vested interest in all of you succeeding. So the choice is mostly up to you. Though, if you're asking me, I think that it's not just a coincidence that this is the largest settlement around anymore. And if it's currently the largest one, then there is a high probability that these folks will be next.
Navad, Gordon flaps nervously on your shoulder. Gordon being the owl.
My owl,
Yeah.
my little owl.
Which at this point, I don't know exactly how fast owls grow, but it's been months. So I think it's basically a full-sized owl at this point.
Okay. There's one small problem, which is this place has thrived partly because of its magical energy, which is invested partially in me physically. I don't know if we even can destroy it. Or if doing so would also kill me. And we did have that premonition. Oh, you weren't here when that happened. There was a premonition of me personally being destroyed by angel fire, but the settlement surviving. So, no, that's like
Oof.
Torg have question or also possible solution or plan. Torg say maybe plan and question. Torg wonder if their way to make it seem as if settlement gone without actually poofing settlement entirely. Like illusion or trick or something. Torg feel like Cat trying to get at something here. Torg, no, Torg not always most, aware, but Torg feel like there got to be a way to look destroy without actually destroy.
I mean, that's very astute, Torg. I mean, we could definitely physically make it look like it's been abandoned while still leaving supplies and everything here, and make it look destroyed as if it was ransacked or raided. There's no guarantee that they'd believe that.
So Pickles, doing that is possible, but you're talking about months and a tremendous effort because you need to dig something underground, and you could put stuff on top, but depending on how sophisticated their sensors are, they're going to be like, you're pulling the fake tank brigade from World War II. We're space aliens. We can see past, cardboard tanks. So, but Torg is right that you could, in theory, do subterranean stuff or divide it up or whatever, but they'd be watching for, theoretically, power. So you would, at the very least, need to shut off your generator and stop using power to avoid looking like you've got power. You'd want to get people out of the area so there isn't moving around, because one of the things we look for when you're taking like military photographs is their movement, right? So you'd want them under something or out of the area entirely. And it's kind of a hard spot. Like there's areas like your wall, like the tower, that are easily identifiable as like military strength. And unfortunately, you'd have to voluntarily weaken those. You could do those things. So you could basically take your, if you're playing a video game and you have Bastion at fortified town rank 4, you could intentionally dial it back to 2 with a fair amount of work and hope that puts you lower on the sky laser death list. But even doing that will take you at least 2-3 weeks.
And it doesn't guarantee the entire party or the town survives when the attack happens. And the attack happening will absolutely have to like move the settlement up.
But that strategy is about not having that attack. So it's about having the Skyfire strike somewhere else. So none of these solutions are good, right? But you basically have to weigh the different paths you could take and figure out how to move forward.
Well, if we moved, where I assume that the next place that we went would also just show up on their radar or their sensors grid.
Or Colonel Winona clears her throat. She's been standing at the door. Winona is basically a lady fox.
Mm-hmm.
She, at this point, she's been doing a lot of traveling, lightly armored, but still kind of retro stylish, kind of 60s inspired stuff. And she has a couple of pistols at her side. Turns out she's either hopeless or a dead shot, like 50-50, right between the eyes, or shoot off into space hopelessly. So it's still worth having them on her. She says, well, all these people came from somewhere. So in theory, you wouldn't want to move all of them to just one other settlement, because you're right. That just moves the problem downstream to the next settlement. But you could divide them and have them, at least half the people here, go back to other settlements, like the ones that we're connected to through the phone lines. The problem is, by doing that, the reason they came here is because we can protect them. So we'd be taking the one place, we renamed this place Bastion for a reason. It's no longer Shire, it's a place we can defend.
Complicated.
I'm actually here to talk to Torg. Could I take them out for a moment?
Torg
Be my-
happy to go with Winona anywhere, anytime. Torg hug. And Torg give Winona large hug.
She eeps as you pull her up because she weighs, comparative to you, she's like nothing, right? So she's
Yeah.
just up in the air. Okay, glad to see you too. We should go to the dog park. So once we're outside, it's about Rip. And I didn't think to ask you, we've been calling Rip Chaz because the sound that you made sounds the most like Chaz. When I make that sound, it just rips up my throat and I have to use it too often. Is that okay?
Torg feel that okay as long as next time we with Baby Rip okays use of Chaz. Torg okay with use of Chaz.
Well, they've been answering to it.
Well, then Torg say that clearly Chaz approve.
So, and she sets a hand on your forearm. I don't think Chaz is well, Torg.
In what way? Chaz not well.
Well, Chaz is not going out hunting as often as they usually do. Chaz is a little, if it was a person, I'd say lethargic. I basically made a big kind of a dog bed for them, and they are spending, first they actually laid down in it, which kind of surprised me. I didn't think they would, but they did. And about half the time, they're curled up in the bed. Also, I noticed the scales are a little like plasteel, like whatever it is. It's like some kind of, it's almost like a fingernail. It's some kind of composite, which I think is partially based on what they eat. 10 points for Gryffindor. Normally very tough, right? You said you fought some of the Rippers early on, and I know from other reports they repel gunfire pretty well. Chaz's scales have gone a little soft. And for something that's an apex predator, that seems not great.
Torg, be honest, Torg often try to look bright side, but if Torg honest, this does sound bad, but Torg would like to see
Of course.
Chaz to assess for Torg's self.
Absolutely. And I feel terrible having to give you news like this. I knew it would upset you, but I know you want to know.
No, Torg appreciate, but Torg strong, Torg can handle. Torg may be sad, but Torg not want to get ahead of Torg.
All right.
Torg wait till Torg see Chaz.
All right, this way. Meanwhile, back in the room, we have Navad and Pickles, and the somewhat ominously turned off like the little the phosphor light at the middle of the screen when you lose signal. So it's just got that little kind of gray dot in the middle. And Gordon kind of nuzzles the side of your head, Navad. Gordon seems worried about you.
Well, if we destroy this place, I don't know what will happen. But at the same time, if we move everyone out of it, I don't know why we would need to destroy it. Because they would just be destroying infrastructure, but not individuals. I don't know if my connection is to the individuals or to the physical place.
Do you want to take Pickles down to the sanctum and see if you can find out?
Sure.
You got magic and shit, man.
Pickles, would you like to come to the sanctum? I think I can get you in. Come with me. I'm getting
Pickles, I really want like the owl on one shoulder and the cat on the other. Can we make that happen? You're muted, Kdin, at least on my.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm 100% behind that.
Okay.
I would like to tell us very briefly. Once in Austin, I saw a guy riding a bicycle with his no shirt, and he was coming up the block, and I was like, "What is going on there?" It was like, "How is he? He's wearing a collar? What?" And then he was riding his bike with no shirt, and his cat was riding on his shoulders while he was riding around town. Like a beautiful fur collar. So this is how I imagine Navad and with an owl and a cat.
So you're going to get an excellent long shot down the hall as you go to the sanctum.
This is the most anime moment we've ever had. of an owl and a cat on anyway.
You're looking real wizardy right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, there's like a little bit of it's like kind of a tool shed at the end of where the dog park is, so the pet run, and it's been repurposed as being like just a tool shed for the dog park. It literally on the door says Chaz. And Winona, they know we're coming, but I think it helps to be. And she knocks on the door, and you hear like kind of a groan. And Winona opens the door, and you see Baby Rip curled up in a big old, like one of those dog beds that you get for like a Mastiff. So like, the extra large Petco special.
Yeah, the one we have for our dog. She's not quite a Mastiff, but she needs a Mastiff bed.
So laying in it and kind of curled up is Chaz. And yeah, you can see right away because you know better than Winona does. Like, every bit, like every mood, and you can see right away, like the scales, they normally have a little bit of metallic sheen that they look dull to you. It also looks like Rip has gained weight.
Now, this is a question this is a question for you specifically. Because I can't remember when Torg first came across the parent of Chaz.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if they were asexual or if there had to be two. I can't remember if they could self-produce. I'm trying to remember what the situation was with that.
I think we played it as a little bit of a joke that Winona couldn't figure it out. That looked at the veterinarian thing and went, there's a lot of scales there. there's a lot of, I assume something moves out of the way to give access to something else, and they're carrying the young on the back. So, I mean, I'm
Right.
assuming like some animals, they come out and crawl up, maybe not. So you didn't really know.
Okay. So Torg on his first instinct, which why Torg, take this serious, but Torg not freak out yet. Is Torg remember the way Torg have Chaz come to Torg life? And Torg wonder, Winona, we never quite figure out how Ripper birthed baby Rip in first place, no?
This doesn't seem like pregnancy to me. If the closest guess I have is some kind of hibernation, which would explain the extra weight. Like we've had, because Chaz isn't hunting as much, we've had to feed them. And they're pretty hungry. So they've been really sucking it away. It's frustrating because I'm a veterinarian, but I'm not a xenobiologist. So this is a new mutant species. I do know someone. There's a goblin, calls themselves Darwin. Goblin uses the title New Naturalist and studies the new species. So my training as a vet is in the established ecosystem of the old world. So I know those kinds of things. I can extrapolate from it a little, but Darwin is studying all the new things of this new world.
Torg think Darwin sound like perfect person to consult.
I mean, we can afford a truck. You could go to consult. Honestly, I would take Chaz with you, because if this is sickness,
Well, yes.
I want them to get better soon. If this is natural, I mean, I just don't know. This could just be what happens to rippers as they get older. Like, we don't know if they're mature yet. Like, maybe this is a point where they end up with a gender. Like, we don't even know what that looks like or what they are or how many there are of them.
Well, Torg no gender social construct, but Torg understand what you getting at.
I meant more reproductive, and says biologist terms Mike doesn't have. They probably go over Torg's head as well. Like this, and this, and kind of looks at you gamely smiling back at her and says, this is why you should talk to Darwin. Darwin, I mean, rippers are a known species. I knew it. I've shown you my creature catalog. This is one of the species that travelers exchange stories about. So this is something that's known. So hopefully, if we're lucky, Darwin knows something about them already.
Torg agree. Torg already say good idea. Torg definitely feel if
All right.
if y'all can spare. Torg obvious want to make sure.
Well, I'm sorry if I'm overselling. I just know how important Chaz is to you. That's all.
Chaz, I want Chaz to get best. If you cannot be best, then we find best.
I am not best. I'm also very busy with the people of this place. I've been trying to stay ahead, and between us, I've known you for a long time. It's a lot. It's so much that I'm not even a player character anymore. Like, I have so much stuff I have to do. All right. And she tentatively gives Torg a hug and pulls out a bunch of stuff that they picked out of their supplies that seem like good, like pet on the road if it's a giant deadly wasteland monster pet kind of stuff, and takes you out to where there's a garage in back. And Colt, if you can flash the map, there's like an area that's got basically garage, and there's a parking area now. It's off to the left of the map there. You can see it towards the back. And there's a variety of vehicles back there now. And the ones that aren't functional yet, they do like used car, like they write what's wrong on the windshield. So you can tell which ones are actually functional because they've wiped all that off. And like, okay, so that truck, it's should be able to carry a small group. My only concern is, if you're going to go and you're going to take the people here that we can spare, and unfortunately right now that does include Pickles. In theory, Pickles could ride, we could strap Pickles' power armor. Boy, that's a sentence, huh? We could strap the power armor to the back of the car, like sit it down, I suppose, but it's an awful lot of weight. But it's up to you. And then we will cut. So we're talking about Pickles. We will cut to Pickles as Nevada approaches the seeming dead end of the. So this is the underneath the truck stop. There's an area that has like a boiler room and some storage space. And one of the hallways, he turns left where there isn't a door, and then does some Doctor Stranging, and passes through with you on the shoulder, right through the wall, into the, as previously described, room. Do we have a good 2-word? Stylishly lame. Wanna be cool.
A little edgelordy.
Well, he's going away from that, is the sense I'm getting.
That's true, yeah.
It's a little bit blockchain. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
I know, I'm sorry, but like Nevada'd be on the cusp of like, had he been around now, he'd be like telling you all about his Ethereum and Bitcoin stuff. Lots of NFTs. He's got like that smoke. What I am like, I'm old, but I just learned about the smoking ape, the crazy ape NFTs. That anyway.
I love the idea of printed out NFTs, which completely shows a lack of understanding of NFTs.
Right. Oh my Lord.
I don't think this has been said on this show before, but I'm so glad the apocalypse happened for Nevada. Because in another situation, Nevada is potentially
terrible.
What is the worst? The apocalypse is the best thing that ever happened to Nevada.
Sure. Like as a type, this type is completely not as salient, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right. Anywho. So welcome to the heart of Bastion.
So Pickles, your fur is standing up.
Okay.
So it's a little like being in an area with like high tension power lines. Like you're not even sure why, but definitely you feel a little weird. And you're like, oh wait, my fur is like, boom.
So just like an odd sense of just like, it's like there is something here, and it's making my fur react to it. Okay. This is a part of that. That doesn't make any. Okay. Do you have an explanation as to how this is connected?
How this physically is connected to the rest of,
Yeah.
well, not exactly.
Okay.
As you can see, there's a lot of, you've experienced magic since you've known me in a way that you probably didn't realize was possible before. So some things have no easy explanation, but trust me, this is part of Bastion and we are in it.
All right. So what is this?
I don't know, and that's what I need to find out.
Great. Well, that is interesting.
Don't know if the connection is physical, spiritual, something else, what it is that defines the relationship of this to the rest of Bastion. I feel like there should be some sort of clue here or something. Navad's going to start kind of rummaging around as if he could find some kind of like hidden something or other that he's overlooked, even though he's spent a lot of time here.
I kind of want to do an awareness check, just kind of like.
So awareness is to sense if there's any danger, imminent danger. So it's kind of danger sense. Sense is to sense either magic or like radiation. I gave that to you without a roll, which is what the hair was. As far as being able to get any additional information, it is not the kind of thing you have the skills to understand, unfortunately.
Okay.
You feel weird.
Okay.
You feel weird Z's. And Navad sorts through like the very little he keeps in here, kind of pokes at the walls like, is there a secret brick? And very quickly like, nah, this is the same dead end. Like at some point, this might have been like a little laundry room. And you did find when you first came here that it did once have a door and it was plastered. They just re-walled it when he set it up to be like only magically accessible. So that's one thing that Pickles will see is it's a room that has no door, like intentionally. So yeah, it's pretty much the only, it seems like the only clues you will have are reaching out with your
magic
senses. Yeah.
Sense. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do, is to try to sort of divine what my relationship is if to this physical space.
Okay.
Yeah.
So give me a sense check. That's the sense magic skill.
Okay.
Against a 4.
A 4. Okay. A 5, a 6, and a 4. So that is an exceptional. I got 3 scores, and I re-rolled the 6, and I didn't get it. So, but I did get.
So you reach out with your senses. So to Pickles, you see Navad close his eyes and start to glow, and can reach out with his fingers. And you before sensed the tree out the desolation and the way branches reached out and the way the roots sunk in. You sense that again. You sense metaphorically Bastion as the tree, and you sense the relationship of the gas pump to the physicality, and that's a branch, and the little gas can that's out back by the cars, which is a smaller twig connected to that branch connected to the tree. Since the branch connected to the people that live in the houses along the walls, and the smaller branches that connect to the individual people and their families. And then even more than that, you sense, because you had a good roll, they connect in other ways to memories, to relationships. So not only is it the people by the wall and the family, it's the family and the relief that they felt when they were finally safe in Bastion, the relief and the protection of the wall that didn't fall when the missile hit. You sense the tree as it connects to the roots in the ground, but the ground is Texan and the connections to the larger society. So the other settlements, which are in some ways through the ground and through the roots, other trees with their own branches. And your connection is a root level connection to the life of this tree and all that Bastion means. So you're connected to the fact that people come here because when they smell churros cooking, when they get close, that means we're almost home, we're almost safe. Yeah, they're delicious, but it means a lot more than that. You are connected to all the battles fought here. You're connected to everything that is Bastion. So because it is a magical connection, the idea of somehow withdrawing your essence from it, it's possible. As far as what Gordon warned you about before he handed it off to you, you aren't sure what would happen if some percentage of what is the complicated set of relationships and interrelationships that are Bastion, what if you shuffle them? What if the gas can is thrown away? Well, Bastion is lessened in some small way. But I think more than anything else, and this is partially up to how you want to play it, but I would guess that you would come out of this sense feeling kind of in love with Bastion. Like you would feel it very strongly, right? So you get this, it's not homesickness because you're home,
Right.
but you would have a redoubled sense of like
validation of
yeah, this is
yeah,
important. Yeah. This is something.
Right.
This is amazing.
Right. Yeah. Look, Pickles, I can't go. We can't break this up. This settlement is what it is.
So we need to, oh, that complicates things. So this is like taking out of the moment. This is a physical space, correct? Like that is.
Yeah, you're in a room that was probably an old laundry room at some point.
Okay. And it's like expanded into this. Okay. Interesting. I'm trying to think about what I could potentially do here. Has Navad done like a proper search of the area of like this whole space?
For what?
I mean, like, just in a sense of like searching like all the nooks and crannies and corners of this like separate area as it is like both connected and removed from.
I think what you come out of that trance with, so to the player, all of these things leading to here and the original choice from Gordon, partially to answer something that Mike said. Bear in mind, these are all choices, right? So from this point on and all these other points, at any point you can go left or right. But I think you would come out of the trance knowing, I think in character, Navad would come into the room going like, there's got to be a MacGuffin. There's got to be like something like a magic, like a peach pit or some shit. I think you'd come out of that with, no, I know what this is. I'm tied to the place. I could maybe undo it, but it's a very specific choice I have to make. There's no MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it is what it is.
Okay. I'm kind of just looking at all of Pickles' skills, and I'm just like, oh gosh, what could
I'm going to say, to move the story along a little bit, the two of you are continuing to converse. You come down the hallway and you run into Torg, and Torg is clearly, there's stuff that needs to be decided, but Torg has an immediate concern about Rip.
So, Torg want to say, Torg team player, Torg totally understand whatever going on. Friend might need Torg, but Torg have very, very important task Torg must get done. And if Torg must do alone, Torg understand, but Torg would also like if Torg have family, if family available, either way. Torg need to take Chaz. We find out Baby Rip has now approved of Chaz as name. And Torg going to say this very fast, so Torg not get too emotional. Torg try to be rational right now and take by step. But Baby Rip need to see proper doctor who know about Baby Rip physiology, because Baby Rip not well. And Winona tell Torg of doctor that can do such, or at least figure out what's going on with Chaz. So Torg need to do that.
Pickles kinds of like turns to Navad and then kind of goes back to Torg. It seems like we still have the exact same problem in both manners. This is a family issue. This place is something we can't abandon, and Torg needs to take care of Chaz, which is something that Torg can't abandon. I don't see any particular issue with making sure that Chaz is okay, especially considering the fact that we can't abandon Bastion because it would be abandoning a part of, well, as Torg put it, family. Navad?
I agree. We're going to have to try to somehow stop the angels from firing before we run into problems. That's the only way.
Navad, do we send some of these people away to lower our ranking on their potential list?
I think we let people make that choice themselves. Rather than making it for them, we put forward to the whole community what the problem is. And those who feel that it would be safer to return to their original communities or to flee to the countryside, we let them do that. And if they would prefer to stay here, they'll know the risk and that we're doing everything we can to circumvent it before it happens.
And Torg, exactly what would you need for Chaz?
Torg need to take road trip to go find Darwin to help. Well, really just not even help, just to assess situation.
We'll say Winona is here as well and can say, in the truck, it's going to be less than a day up and back. Darwin is actually in a wild zone to the south.
Okay. Well, Navad, Torg, you seem to have a very good connection to the people of Bastion. Do you think you could reason with them about all of what we've learned? And do you think that they wouldn't panic?
Torg feel like it not quite necessary to tell everyone when we not even know exactly what plan is yet. So Torg feel premature to reveal, only because, might cause undue freak out or stress that, who knows, we may be able to find solution. Torg worry too soon.
Navad?
I think that. What do you think? I want to know what you think we should do, Pickles.
I think at this point we know enough of the hypotheticals to basically draw a conclusion to the worst and best scenarios.
Yes.
The best scenario is that a couple of those settlements just happened to get into a fight with each other and wiped each other out. Happens all the time. The worst case scenarios is the Angels are absolutely on the assault and trying to finally solve their own problems. By attacking directly, we paint a target on these people's backs, no matter what we do. So if we attack, we need to tell them.
Yes.
So that they can be safe. If we choose to hide, it's going to take some time, and it might be time we don't have anymore.
It's also true.
In the middle of us preparing, they could just immediately see us as preparing and decide to pull the trigger.
Yes.
I think while it may cause undue panic, I think the best thing to do is to tell the people the possible situations.
I agree. I think that's what we should do.
In that sense, to give this place a sense of abandonment, taking Chaz away might give us a sense of we will also be leaving this area. We shut this down for a couple days and see what happens. If they can't sense the energy and they can't see anybody moving around too much, they might just think it's abandoned for a couple days, and we can use that time to assess the situation better. And if another town gets wiped off the map that was next on the list, then we'll know that they were after us.
Well, Torg feel like this makes sense and be like what Torg was saying, to buy time. Torg feel like that's total reasonable. And also, we not necessarily have to tell town that we need to attack, just that we need to try this strategy first, and then if this does not work, then we tell town, all serious, sad worry. But maybe we just only reveal half truth about trying this for a few days and buy time. Yes?
That makes sense.
Just in case.
So
It's worth a shot.
why not us? So we tell them we need to basically run silent. We need to shut the generator down. We need to stay out from visibility from above, and to probably not use vehicles going in and out, right?
That is
That's-
correct.
That is correct. I would say also maybe set a few smoldering fires here and there that make it look like possibly there was an attack.
Yes, see, this is the kind of thing that Torg was trying to imply earlier. Torg, glad y'all finally realized Torg have good ideas.
Torg was right all along.
Sometimes Torg is brilliant.
All right. So
Torg also think it'd be good idea that when we leave and take Chaz to go see Darwin, we make big deal out of it, and have whole town help us, and we could even put together a trolley of some sort or thing attached to it to make it look as if we are taking lots of things out of town as ruse.
And then it's brilliant. Torg, that's amazing. And then when they get out of town, at a certain point, stop and then return slowly, individual by individual or in small groups, back to town on foot.
Exactly.
I love it.
This will probably work if so long as we make sure that they know to lay low and go slow, then we'll have enough time to take care of Chaz, make the town look abandoned enough, and buy us enough time to see what their plan is or their next step.
So as the party loads Chaz into a truck and you hear Wynonna talking to the crowd, to Pickles. I think Pickles is probably in Pickles' own mind thinking, as long as the Angels have aerial surveillance like what we have, this will absolutely work. But if they have like anything resembling advanced scanners, there is no way it's going to work. So the cat is probably a little edgy heading out of town. One last question, then we're going to go to break. Are you taking the power armor?
I think it's a mistake to leave the power armor behind.
Oh.
I think if we're making this place look like we're abandoning it, we take the thing that looks like it's useful and mechanical and it's like, okay, well, we're taking this with us. Maybe, it's like it could be, it's part of the supplies and part of the things we're using and taking. We got to get the power armor out of there in the sense of, I know it's mostly bonded to Pickles, but a rogue cat could potentially, with enough time, use it. I'm not leaving my power armor behind. I'm absolutely not. The power armor is my Chaz at this point.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to load the thing up, and the last shot is seeing you leaving in the truck, and the power armor is in the back, and Chaz is next to it in the big bed. Everybody else is, I think, not everybody else. It's only three of you. Nevad's up front. Pickles is next to Nevad, basically riding shotgun. I can't imagine Torg is not riding with Chaz, right?
Yeah.
Torg would be taking care of Chaz.
Definitely.
Torg
be-
would 100% be with Chaz. Yeah.
And then we would see them going down the road. So let's take a 5-minute break. We will be back in 5. We got some stuff to run, and we will return. So no switching. Can I have a notice check from Torg, please?
Wow.
So roll the number of dice indicated on the sheet.
Hit the
What?
Get the
Wow.
dice running. I love it.
Sorry, that's the face of someone who forgot to grab their die.
Amazing. We need to add that to our list of things to do to check during break. Of like, are you ready for a dice roll?
Well, everybody hold up their dice.
I've got mine. I've got my. Oh, you can't see them.
It's kind of cool that they're like little
They're
void
Little voids.
Yeah, they're little voids.
See, they disappear. Hold on, let me see if I can get the other ones to work. Do these work? Nope, all gone. How many of these dice don't work? Any of these colors work? Oh, these work.
Oh
Hey!
yeah. They're kind of like jeweled pastel-y colors.
Yeah, the
there.
pink and the orange.
Pink and
the
the orange.
I cleaned and reorganized and a thing like and I moved my dice somewhere and I don't know where they are, but Barrett gave me his, so we're good.
Love it.
Sorry.
Barrett saves the day.
I don't
Thank you,
It's-
Goldwater.
He's helping when he's not even there. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you said you wanted a notice check?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. All right.
And it's going to be against a 4.
So I want to
Rolling the
get-
number of dice indicated for notice. Every die that comes up a 4 or better is a score.
okay, that's what I thought. I was just double checking.
I'm partially saying it out loud for the audience just in case.
Indeed.
So it's nice to get whoop. All right. Hey, I got a 4 and I got a 6.
So re-roll the 6. Every time you roll a 6, it explodes, which means you get to roll it again. You
Yeah.
have 2 scores. So 2 scores is still a success. So that was to tell what you could tell from sitting down and spending time with Chaz while you're driving. They don't feel sick to you. So you have a pretty good sense of like if Rip is in pain or if Rip is mad at you or if Rip, well, you get a pretty good sense for those things. It's sleepy, sluggish, pudgy. The scales are flexible, which is weird, and they're normally very hard. And it's just because they're small and they intermesh very nicely that they're flexible. But they're like, it's more huggable than ever. And actually, in the sluggish state, will put up with getting a hug, which is a little weird. Yeah, but maybe you're slightly less worried because it doesn't, like, it's not making little whining noises. Like, there's none of the things that would like upset you. So it's a general set of concern, right? Anxiety, but being with them, there isn't anything that's like triggering any of the, like, oh shit, like, that seems to be okay somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Pickles, are you sitting in the head of Bast, even though it's off, or are you up front in a very scaled down version of the same bed that Rip is lying in, except in the passenger seat?
I think for safety reasons, I'm probably in Bast, like just in case like anything goes wrong, like being accessible to the power armor makes sense to me.
So it's off. It only has 1 hour of runtime. So you probably have the faceplate cracked so you can breathe, but you're sitting in there.
Yeah.
Because it's not actively, it doesn't have any shock absorber because it's just sitting there at dead weight. You're probably bouncing a bit in the head, which is a pain in your kitty butt. Do you like how ready to rock and roll are you? Like, did you use your TK to keep the crown on in case you need to start up fast?
Probably not that like alert about it, just closer to it in a sense of almost mildly protective over the armor, but then also like being prepared but not expecting anything to go wrong.
Okay. We have a drive test from Nevada against a 3.
Okay, sounds good. That is a 6. I keep going. Ooh, I got a 1. I only got 1 score.
Okay, so partial success.
Yes.
Roll a d6 for me. High is good for the party, low is bad.
Okay. I got a 5.
Okay. So you bottom out the car a couple of times while you're driving.
Okay.
And you make a mental note to check it out when you get back to the garage. You can put it up and have Wrench take a look at it. But it doesn't affect drivability, and the car does not stop. It's just, it probably makes, in the way of all old experienced cars, new funny noises, like you're the proud owner of a new funny idiosyncratic noise.
Right.
It's kind of like being a middle-aged human. You have these new and pains, and you're like, I don't know where the fuck that came from. Like that, but it's fine. So you're driving, and at this point, I would say, Pickles, give me a awareness check.
Okay.
A 5.
Against a 5. Oh, good. Okay. I got a 5, and that's it.
Ooh.
Partial.
1 score, partial success.
You feel the ground move a little as you're driving.
Oh, don't like that.
You're not sure if it's like a microquake, or it doesn't seem to match like the way the car is moving. Like the ground definitely shifted.
Okay. So the ground is shifting. I'm going to like alert Navad. Just like that happened. Just kind of like telepathically tell him, it's like something's going on. The ground's moving potentially.
Navad, because you have that information, you can give me a notice against a 4.
Okay. Geez, I got 1 4, so a partial success. Man, our dice are rolling is not great tonight.
So you're driving.
Yeah.
From time to time, you get like bumps that don't match what you're looking at. Like normally when you're driving, you're like, oh, I'm coming up on a pothole. Like you expect the bump.
Right.
Here and there, you're getting like chunks, and you're like, what? Did I run over a squirrel? What the fuck was that? I need, let's have a Torg make a beast mastery. Did I call it beast mastery or animal handling?
I think it's
Beast mastery.
Beast mastery?
Yeah.
Make a beast mastery test against a 4.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got a 4 and a 6. Let me re-roll that 6.
So is anyone communicating? Because I only heard telepathy. Does anyone tell Torg what's happening?
I think I'll inform like everybody who's here that like this is happening, just to kind of like get everybody aware of the situation.
2 successes.
Torg, rippers swim under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, no.
That was exactly what I was.
I need an awareness test from Nevada against a 4, please.
Okay.
Awareness. It'd be great if you got a success.
Awareness against a 4.
Come on.
You can be aware, Navad. Come on, let's do it.
Be aware. Be
Shannon,
aware.
Shannon, the player, feels like he knows what's going on in a way that Navad, the character, is about to maybe not. Against the 4?
And rolls, yes.
You can do it.
Nope, I could not.
Oh,
I
no.
got
Ah.
no successes.
A driving
score.
test against a 5.
A driving test against a 5 now.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Ah.
Come on.
Oh, I got 1 5. I got a 1 score, so partial.
Okay.
I'm rolling like garbage.
So I'm gonna need a I'm gonna call up a sheet here. Hang on.
I feel like in the best I need to be driving not in rhythm, or they'll sense.
You know, I felt they did a serviceable job of showing us what that looks like, because all through high school we tried to do that. We'd like go to a party and come home at 2 a.m. and walk down the middle of the streets without rhythm. There's no good way to do that.
There really is not. Okay, so yes,
it's a great idea, but so you're gonna need to roll.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I'm calling up a sheet, so I'm stalling.
that's fine. For those we're making, for those who are watching who don't know, we're making references to Dune right now. But
I have a reaction test?
Yes.
From VOD against a 4, please.
4. Okay, reaction against a 4. Okay, this is my reaction saving throw. Okay. Okay, now here I rocked out. That was I got 4 successes.
So you're actually able to shift your grip and hang out of the car as the truck rolls. Torg, I'm going to need an awareness against a 4.
Okay. I got 3 6s, a 5, and a 4. What?
So then give me the reflex save.
So not the reroll yet. Okay.
Nope. No, you have plenty. So you realize what's going on and you try to not get hurt by it.
Wait, which one are you? Oh, reaction.
Reaction saving throw, and this could be against a 4.
Okay. Yeah. 6, 4, 4.
Boom, you hang on, and you could reroll a 6 and get plenty. So Professor Pickles, awareness, please.
Yay.
Against a 4.
Oh, a 6 and 2 5s.
Okay, so you don't need to make your roll, because as the truck goes over, the cat levitates inside the skull of the power armor. So it turns out your abilities are super good for this situation.
Oh, that's great.
I think it'd be a very expensive Deadpool-like sequence with the cat as a fixed point and everything kind of tumbling around.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's adorable.
I'm not going to come up with it right now, but I also just need to think of like what would be the perfect like Edgar Wright kind of like musical choice for that.
See, I go Deadpool.
It's like a Belle and Sebastian song or something. Like we're like
I counter program like we did Deadpool, and I go like Walking on Sunshine or something.
No, what if it was like Harry Nielsen's like if only I had a puppy, like that kind of if only I had
a So no one takes any damage. What happened was a Ripper exploded out of the ground and snapped one of the axles of the truck, causing the truck to just end over end.
Sure.
And you look back and there are 3 Rippers. Torg, what's your speed?
Oh no.
I think it's a 6. Let me double check. Why am I not seeing this?
It's
lower left-hand corner of the sheet. There's a combat summary.
It's like kind of like down in the lower left.
Oh, I think I pulled up the wrong old sheet. Hold on.
I might have yours up. Do I? I do. And it
Yes,
is
6. I'm
Yep,
right. I was
right.
right.
Navad, speed,
5.
and Pickles.
I have a 4.
All right. Torg, what do? The Rippers look like they're going to come in and attack.
I mean, obviously, Torg would immediately look over at Chaz and be like, Chaz, communicate.
Chaz makes a groaning noise and curls up tighter. And farts. And it's not just any fart. You think it's some sort of pheromone-based signal fart. So it's particularly, it smells like the gathering of the Juggalos.
Very specific. Very specific.
It's
Accuracy is important.
so.
Torg would again go, Chaz, listen to Torg. Chaz, up.
Navad,
Yes.
incoming badness.
Boy. Yeah, man. Like,
That was heartfelt.
yeah, well, I mean, it should, typically in these sorts of things, we would end up kind of duking it out with them, but I don't want to duke it out with them because we're looking like it's one of, it's like Rip, Chaz. So I'm gonna just kind of like see if I can were they charging?
Oh, they're going into a light run.
A light run. I'm gonna do like a little bit of a what's the hold on, I've got my magic in front of me. So instead of what's the cantrip version of the devastates of the destroy spell? I wanted to see if I can just like make my hands glow and I warn them off, right?
So you need to make a insight check.
Insight? Okay. That I can do. That I can roll. I'll roll that up against
5.
a 5. Difficulty of 5.
It's hard to read those faces.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not particularly humanoid in the sense of like conveying a lot of emotion. No, I have no idea what they're thinking.
Torg has idea whenever. Okay.
So
go ahead.
So anyway, so I'm gonna glow up my hands, like just maybe try to like warn them off with fire.
Do you crawl out from the inverted truck?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like,
okay, so you get out.
Getting out of the truck.
Like, come on, man. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm gonna like more of kind of like a warn them off kind of a
Pickles. You're now under a truck inside a deactivated set of power armor, kind of in the corner of the helmet.
Okay. Oh, I have a couple options here, and I don't know how many of them I like. I'm gonna go a little wild with this one. I'm gonna crawl out similar to Navad. I'm just gonna like get out from underneath that, out of the power armor.
Easier for you than anyone. A cat's getting out of things like that is super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Can I possibly try and, I mean, how do I? Considering I am a cat and the Rippers are also another
I'm dying
type
to see where you're going with this, because you've gone 3 blocks out of the way and you're circling. Okay, hit me.
Can I try and intimidate them as another animal?
You can try anything. It's the beauty of role-playing games.
Oh, that's cool. What would I be rolling again?
You're going to roll Intimidate, 2 dice down from what you've got against a 5.
Cool. Let's see if this works.
So the cat comes out and hisses at the rippers. This is a very Jonesy moment.
So I got a 6 and a 5, and I'm going to re-roll the 6.
You're kidding me.
And I got another 5.
Oh, wow.
So the cat comes out from the wreckage of the power armor, hisses with the hackles raised. The 3 threshing death machine mutant monsters, as they come closer, Torg sees these don't look like the last ones you saw. So they are generally dispassionate. They hunt to eat. They're savage, but that's just because, like you defended many times, well, just hungry. These don't look like that. They look, rabid's the wrong word, but they're like their eyes are intense. They're even kind of foaming and drooling a little bit. They look like they have a specific interest in causing harm to you or someone in that truck. But Professor Pickles hisses at them and they hesitate and do not jump into combat this round. They're held off for at least a single round. And at this point, Chaz tries to hide, gets as close to like the corner of the inverted truck, like under like the toolbox thing, and shivers a little bit. Initiative goes back around to Torg, and you see Pickles holding off the 3 rippers with, we've established that Pickles is a lady cat, but those are Tanuki size balls. I mean, the bravery of that cat.
Okay, so Torg has idea that while Torg was training Rip very, very well to continue to be protection and keep instincts, somehow Chaz is now domesticated and doesn't seem willing to fight the Rippers or be of any.
So it's not been acting domesticated until this. This seems to be more about its condition or something about this encounter. Like something like domesticity would have been something you would have noticed over time.
Right.
And there's been no sign of that. It's been like it comes back and your friends in the compound be like, it ain't half a cow again. There's something different, something wrong.
But not 6.
Nope.
Then maybe pregnant, but okay, basically Torg feels like regardless, those Rippers would not try to destroy another Ripper. So Torg,
make an insight check. See how you're feeling about that.
Beesh. Torg's insight, not great. What are we looking for?
Well, what did you get? Did you get any scores?
I haven't rolled it yet. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go against a 4.
Against a 4. Okay.
Yes, please.
I got Torg gets a 4.
They are trying to get to Chaz. Looking at the way they're kind of moving and being kept at bay by the cat of all things, it looks like they want to get past the cat to Baby Rip. And it looks like they want to just slash it to pieces. Can we get another shot of their charming faces, Colt?
Mm.
So like that, but angry. That's a ripper out of the
like
out
that,
of the
but like
palm.
kind of mean, you know.
It kind of feeling good. It was feeling, it was feeling.
Torg just confused. Torg never see Rip scared, especially a fellow Rip. So Torg have no idea what's going on.
Devad? Want to do anything?
Man,
You're pretty sure they're going to get over being scared of the cat and probably try to kill Pickles to get past it.
right.
Can Torg still do something even though Torg not sure what to do?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. It's just in combat, well, at a certain point, like the round will be spent.
Oh, that's true.
Well, yeah.
Okay, well, Torg. Well, now that Torg know that they want to attack Baby Rip, Torg is like, well, for whatever reason, Torg must protect Chaz. Chaz clearly does not want to try to defend themselves for some reason. So Torg must be parent. And I think Torg going to probably take I mean, how far away?
They're at near range.
Oh, okay. So Torg would take Big Basher and obviously swing with all might to try to wound.
All right. So go ahead. And that's going to be you'll close to close to be able to attack. So the first range category. The difficulty will be on your little summary. I think it's only a 3. Might be a 4 with a basher. And then roll your brawl melee against that number. And ring his bells. I'm seeing if there's anything else we should know about.
Hey, not amazing, but 6 and a 4. So
Reroll the 6, although it won't.
but it was against a 4, so I've got a.
Right, that's 2 scores. You reroll the 6. Did we get another one?
Yeah. Hey, another score, not a 6, but a 5.
Okay, so you can use, you have a feat called Crunch. That'll allow you to use your exceptional success to cause extra damage and break bones. So will you break its bones?
Will Torg break its bones?
I mean, I have to ask. All right, cool. So that's going to be you're rolling 6 dice for your bigger basher, and you're going to be going against a 4.
We have got 2 successes, and which is a 6.
Keep going.
Another 6.
You keep going until you're out of 6s.
A 2. But still, that was pretty fucking good.
That's 3. 3, right? And that's against, and your power is 2, but the crunch raises by 1, which is 3, so that's 9 hits, which is half its hits. So it goes yellow, and you break its bone. So the basher comes down, and there is a horrific crunching noise. And then the scream that the thing lets out is something you will not soon forget. Nevad, do you wish to be involved in this carnage?
Well,
it's not bad phrasing. I'm sorry. Will you be involved in this carnage?
Well, sort of seeing that this is the way we're going, I'm gonna try to do a rend on these babies.
So not the one that's fighting Torg, right?
Not the one that's fighting Torg.
Okay.
The sort of the next one up in the.
So the spell should give you all you need to resolve.
Yep. So difficulty 3. Okay, so it's a 6 dice. Okay, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, a 6, so I'm gonna roll a 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 scores.
Can you just say what exceptional success does?
I need to read what exceptional success does. Exceptional. This attack does 5d of energy damage with power 3 and is considered piercing, so it ignores
Outer armor. Okay. So the good news here is its defense against the energy is only 3.
Okay, so 5 dice against a 3.
Yeah.
So that is a 3, a 4. There is a 6.
Oh, jeez.
So another 6. And a 3. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 scores.
And reroll the 6s.
I did.
Okay, so 5 times your power is 15, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes red.
Yes.
You blow big chunks out of it.
All right.
Another cast and a lance of energy and blood and screaming and all of that goodness.
Love it.
Pickles, you're now literally a cat standing on the street, and there's these murder machines, and your allies have gone into battle. Do you want to? It looks like there's a third opponent that might maybe try to attack you. Do you want to be there, be somewhere else, attack it, double down on hissing? What do you want to do? Suddenly switch tactics and seduce? You go Bugs Bunny?
This is going to be dumb. This is stupid. This is dumb and stupid.
You lived through one stupid already this fight.
What's another stupid?
That's true. Yeah.
You know what? Going full feral has seemed to work so far. I'm actually gonna go power armorless, and I'm gonna go for it.
You're gonna jump on. You're gonna follow through on the implied threat of the hissing.
I'm going to follow through.
And you're gonna try to cash the check you wrote by hissing at the monster.
Yes, I'm going to 100% do this.
Okay. You're a very brave cat. So you're going to be making a brawl melee against a 4. So there's a wow, and the cat leaps onto one of the rippers. Can we see the ripper again? For scale, a cat's a lot smaller than that.
To be scientific about it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
To be very astute about this. For context, I have 1 die in this, and I need to roll a 4 or higher, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay, well, that was a 6.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a 5.
I don't think I can say it right, but you know when you're typing, you write the fuck?
With a Q.
Yeah. So
you
do your damage, and it's not even partial, so you're going to do all of it. They have a 4 defense against your damage type. So how many you get? What, 2 dice, 1 die?
I get 2.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Oh, come on. Okay, well, that's okay. Hold on. I'm rolling both again. I got 2 6s. Okay, and I got a 4 and a 5.
I'm going to say, because it's fun, that you leaped on the one that Navad damaged. Because against all reason, that means you did enough damage to fucking kill it.
Let's go.
Even though you've got power armor, that you just like, I'm going to leave that in the bumper seat. It's fine.
You said I only had an hour. I mean, I'm not going to waste.
No, this really feels like a waste. What the hell? So you meow, and the thing goes down, and its face is just, you scraped off the scales, and it's just a bloody mess.
There are going to be folk songs, hero songs written about the day Pickles clawed the Ripper.
I'm going to say that the one that's wounded is going to lose a round to defuck. And then it's going to be like, what's happening? The unwounded one, though, is going to try to hit Torg.
Sure.
So that's going to be this many dice against that. It succeeds. And then it will rip, which is what they do. And that's going to be, what's your defense against slashing? Is the second thing under your armor. I think it's probably a 3. It, in fact, is a 3, yes. Okay, so here comes, okay, a 1-6. Hit. It's only 3, that's not terrible, but that's not great. So you're going to take 12 hits. So that means you also take 2 wounds.
Yeah.
And that's all that happens from that, because you have way more than 12 hits, right?
Yeah.
It still hurts, but it's not enough to really damage you. All right. Torg, counterattack time. Do you want to attack the one that's already wounded? Because you're fighting 2 right now.
Right. I mean, yeah, I'll attack the one that's already hurting,
Okay.
I guess. Or, well, no, I need to attack the one that, is there one that's at like 100%?
Yep.
Yeah, that one needs to get some damage into it.
Okie dokie. So go ahead and do your attack. It's going to be brawl melee against a 4.
Hey, that ain't too bad. No 6s, but I got 3 hits, 2 5s, and a 4.
So go ahead and do your damage, and that's going to be against a 4.
Get over here. Whoop, dropped one. Hold on. Hey, that is not too shabby. 2 6s and a 5.
And you re-rolled the 6s?
Oh, right. I do need to re-roll those in this
Yes.
case. I forgot. I forgot that I re-rolled those on damage. 6 and a 4.
Keep re-rolling those 6s.
I know. I'm doing it. Another 6.
So we're up to 6 so far.
Shut up.
7 and another 6. Oh, and you're getting your sexy custom dice nuclear 6s too.
I know.
So keep rolling until you're done with 6s.
4.
So that's 8, and your power is 2, which is 16. So you damn near one-shot it. So there's another crunch, and that one is down to red. Like one more blow, and either one of them is going down. Nevada.
Coming.
I'm sorry, the one was killed by, here's the sentence. The one was killed by the cat. So the other one, there's one yellow, one red.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shoot at. I'm gonna try to nail the one that's yellow, because
Okay.
Torg seems to have the one well in hand. Okay, so hold on. 6D against 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, so that is 1, 2. That's an exceptional success, my man. So 5D against that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, and a 6, 4, 5. So another 15.
So that one explodes.
The one that was yellow.
Yep, it's ripped apart by magic. There's ripper bits everywhere.
Oh wow.
And Pickles, there's one left. It's red. It fucking runs, and it runs because of the cat.
Yeah.
Sees the cat, sees its faceless friend, and nopes out of there.
That was the day that the Ripper ran away from the cat.
Does anyone want to shoot it when it's running and just let it go?
Oh, I mean, through technicality, could I take somebody's gun and try?
So there is a thing called hover gun. That's a TK power that lets you use guns by hovering them like the cat from outer space and shooting with them. But there is that rule about advancement where you're allowed to borrow an ability, and then if you like it, make it your advance for the session. So you can absolutely lift up a gun and give it a shot and see if you like the power. So after already wrecking ass, the cat reaches out to the truck, pulls out a gun, and I'm not going to have you roll to hit. Like, I'm pretty sure that the thing isn't even properly, like, it doesn't realize that it can burrow. So it should have just dived into the earth to hide. And there's a sharp report, and telekinetically, you can even blow across the top of the gun, and you ice the third ripper.
Yeah.
If there were levels in Nuked, Pickles definitely just fucking leveled.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the baller move of fuck it, I'm not taking the power armor.
I didn't think I would have. Listen, I'll be honest. I didn't think I would have time to start the power armor and take a shot. So I went with, let me try and intimidate and maybe buy, Nevada and Torg around. And I pressed my luck.
I'm speechless.
Listen, Ultra Cat, still a cat. Still a cat.
For sure.
Absolutely right.
For sure.
I'm just telling you, I cannot wait until we start hearing the folktale songs about Pickles spread around.
We'll be the ones.
Nukelandia.
We'll have to start them.
So we're gonna segue to a scene that's about 3 hours later. Chaz has calmed down, was agitated for a little while, but calms down. You were able to fix the axle and flip the car. You have a Torg, so you're able to flip the truck back over. Torg can definitely pull that off with Torg's strength, and you had to back off. So you're now in a wild zone. Wild zones, many of them were started because of biological weapons, which screwed with the local flora and fauna, make them really overgrown, usually wildly overgrown. Mm-hmm. And you were given a map by Winota, and there is a school, an old ruined school that Darwin supposedly works out of. And you pull into the parking lot, and you see there's a small part of the parking lot, it's only a few spaces, that someone has taken a machete or something and cleared. So it's obviously someplace that someone comes into and out of. And there's also a small Jeep sitting in one of the parking places. So Nevada, you pull in next to the Jeep.
Yeah.
All right. So do you head inside, and do you take Chaz?
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's why we're here.
He'll walk, but it's kind of staggering.
I imagine that Torg will have Chaz's hand in their hand and kind of arm around it sort of deal.
And he'll Frankenstein, not really stable, but we'll follow you. You go up to the door, and there is a obviously recently repaired intercom, which seems functional. So this is like the front doors of most modern schools where you have to buzz in and then you'd have like the secretary or something would let you in because during a school day, those would be usually open, but although not these days, but back in the day before everything. But do you just barge in or do you hit the intercom?
Oh, I mean, Torg is polite when necessary and required, Torg obviously, is going to press the intercom and Torg will ask for Darwin.
Intercom flickers to life and it's audio only and you hear that's me. I'm Darwin. I'm not really open for trades. I have everything I need.
Oh, Torg not looking for trade unless Torg can be assistance. Torg often does have services. Point being, Torg really would love to have you check out Torg family member. Some say pet. Torg feel closer than that, but I have a Ripper who no scares. The Ripper always listen to me, but I need someone to assess what is going on with
Hey,
Torg
can I
child.
can I now have the over the Burger King intercom version of that? Which is what he hears.
Torg, Doctor, Ripper, scary.
There's a pause and then, hang on a minute. And the door buzzes and you can get in. You see coming down the hallway is a early middle-aged, chubby goblin, kind of dressed like almost a cartoon, kind of like the Jack Black from Jumanji, the Jack Black. So he has like,
Okay.
he has a pith helmet, and he's got like a white beard, and he comes huffing and puffing. Something about death and children. I'm sorry.
Torg here.
Oh my God, a Ripper.
No, this Chaz. Torg understand most Ripper bad scary. This one, no. Chaz family. But Chaz also not acting like normal. And normal for Chaz is friendly, but definitely still not so docile.
Follow me. Let's go to the chemistry lab. And he takes you to literally a classroom that's a chemistry lab. So it's got the little, what do you call those? The butane jets for the experiments.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the chairs have all been pushed to the side, but obviously its original purpose is obvious. But there's a big empty space. So you can have him lay down. He lays down. And he's actually got something that very much resembles Wynona's back. And he says, that is a big boy. Is he this sounds, I don't mean any insult because I don't know your friend here, but most of the Rippers that I know or have seen are leaner than this. He pats his own belly. Your friend, he's is he normally this big?
Well, Torg admit that Chaz a little larger than last time Torg see, but Torg not feel it be in excess.
How many times has he molted?
Oh. Torg don't know.
Oh boy. Rippers have growth stages. They have growth spurts. They should shed their outer skin so that they can grow and have a bigger skin as they get larger. And when I meant big, I meant
Torg feel like that happened at least once.
Nope.
Torg remember that? No.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh. So this is still a young Ripper?
Torg would assume so. Torg not know what you consider young.
Do you live in a red zone?
Who not live in red zone these days?
Oh, well, so red zones they can be lethal I'm making an assumption here. Are you, by the way, I'm Darwin. It's a chosen name. I'm not going to tell you what my parents called me. Darwin fits me a lot better. What's your name?
Torg.
Torg. So I have to be a little rude because I have to ask these questions. I don't see a lot of people. Are you a troll, Torg?
Torg is Torg. Torg not offended if you ask if troll, because Torg not think anything offensive about being said. But Torg.
So the reason I ask is I assumed that if this was, because I thought I heard Pat, that you were living, because goblins and trolls can live in red zones without getting sick. So I assume that these creatures are native to red zones. They only hunt outside for brief periods. They have to nest in red zones. If it's not been in a red zone, I doubt it's been able to molt, so it's not growing properly.
Will Torg feel like it close, but I guess not close enough to red zone.
Where you live, are there humans?
Yes.
Are they very, very sick or dead?
No.
And it's not a red zone. Red zones, everything kind of glows. Most of the normal plants die. There's often...
Well, Torg understand, but Torg always feel like... I guess Torg just assumed that there enough radiation because Torg see rippers everywhere that...
Oh. No, and they generally, they have an area where they hunt. And it depends on where they nest. If it's nested somewhere that isn't a red zone, it maybe will occasionally wander into one, but if its nest isn't in one, it's not absorbing the radiation. Some of these creatures, and he kind of gestures broadly, they need radiation to grow properly.
Torg never realized this. Torg not know. How Torg fix this? How Torg make right for Chaz?
Well, if we can get Chaz to a red zone, I think exposure to that kind of radiation might help it molt.
How long would Chaz have to be in zone of rad?
Could be hours, could be days, but not much longer than that. They takes out one of those telescoping prod things, just like for, so not like a cattle prod, like for pointing, and kind of pokes a little one of the scales and says, you see, it's kind of gone softish. It's because it would split if it molts. It will just, it's that what you're looking at is an outer husk at this point. It's already growing new scales underneath. And here, let me, this you said, Pat, can you keep him calm?
Oh, Torg always keep Chaz calm.
Well, I mean actively calm, because I'm going to poke just a tiny bit.
Yes.
And he puts on one of those high-powered forehead kind of like minor light things, and he goes up and he takes the scales and he kind of pushes and pulls, and they're a little flexible. You can actually see the second layer of scales underneath. So see that? So if it's healthy enough, it's going to burst and all this outer stuff will come off. And he should then mature much faster. And this is probably making him sick, poor boy.
Oh. Well, Torg not want Chaz to be sick. Torg want Chaz to be best Chaz.
I'm willing to go with you. I know where the nearest red zone is. It's only about an hour and a half away.
Torg think that sounds like great idea. Torg greatly appreciate.
He waves to Navad. I'm Darwin.
Hi, Darwin. I'm Lord Navad.
Really?
You've heard of me?
There are rumors of a warlock with a flaming skull who lived in the Shire and saved it from curse and his predations.
Yeah, it's me. Wow. Rumors, huh? I mean,
Yes.
there's a bunch of us. It wasn't just me.
I doubt there's that many with flaming skulls, although you don't seem to have a flaming skull, so.
Oh, my friend. Oh, are you in for a treat?
Oh, it sounds kind of scary. I'm not really good with scary.
Oh, it's not that scary. And I put on the flaming skull.
He faints dead away.
Oh, and I let it, I extinguish it immediately. Oh, Darwin, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I try to shake him and wake him up.
So he wakes up and the first thing he sees is Pickles. Are you a cat or are you more?
Here's my question about the scenario. Am I still partially covered in what would have come out of the Ripper at that time, or
No, being a cat in like.
okay, I was going to assume that I had already like. Okay,
you would be nice and tidy by now.
I'm just going to like telepathically say hello and then like do the little paw wiggle wave thing.
He brightens right back up. An ultra cat I've never met, one of your kind. I'm so honored. A wizard and an ultra cat and a troll who is not a troll and seems more than that. Amazing. You're all exceptional, and I'm very pleased to know you. I'd be happy to offer whatever help I can. I'm just a humble scientist, but if I can help your friend, I've actually got some old dog food in cans that I think your friend might like. Hang on, I'll be right back. And he goes scurrying off. So we'll cut to the group then on the road with the Goblin, and he's got some old stuff that he's giving to Rip to help Chaz recover strength. And again, Chaz seems a little out of sorts because it's letting Darwin feed him and stuff, which normally is like, count your hands before you do that, and then count afterwards because those numbers might not match. And you drive, and considering the time, I'm going to say that's another montage. And you drive into a red zone, and this particular red zone has a little bit of a glowing purple fog to it. And from the moment you enter it and you're going through the fog, Rip at first brightens and looks a little more energetic, but then curls up and kind of does the dog thing where it almost chases its own tail until it's really comfortable, and then falls completely asleep.
Aw. Torg hope this good sign.
And he literally has a stethoscope, and he does some veterinarian style stuff and says, they seem fine. I think it's preparing to molt. We can pull over just about anywhere, and as long as, I mean, I'm immune to this. I'm goblin kind. I'm pretty sure you aren't immune. I do have red blankets in my kit, and he passes you ponchos, those sort of foil emergency ponchos.
Do you have a cat-sized rat blanket?
The nice thing about cat size is the full size blanket simply is more majestic on a cat.
Yeah.
He's right. That's
Yeah.
true.
Very regal.
Very true.
So I'm going to need, because we're held closer to the end of the episode, we'll leave it. Just say the three of you aren't feeling great. Like the radiation, which is actually good for Chaz, is not so great for the three of you.
Well, yeah.
And Darwin, because there's that scientific theory that the goblins and the actual trolls are the people of the new world. They've accommodated all of the changes to the biosphere and radiation. So he's fine. And after about 20 minutes, Chaz starts panting and then stirs, and the outer skin rips, rips, and underneath you see shiny new scales. Between them, you know how armadillos, they have little hairs that stick out between the armadillo plates? There are hairs, but they're in Torg's braids colors.
Aww.
So it's got
What?
the same colors coming out, and it kind of stirs and shakes its head, and it's a little longer hair on top, a little bit like a mane, and it manages to smile, which it was never able to do before, and actually says, "Mom."
What?
Torg, Mom.
Yeah.
Chaz.
Chaz. Hug?
Torg, hug Chaz.
So picture the Ripper, except it's half Torg. So it's not quite as scaly, and the proportions are a little different. Like a standard Ripper kind of is hulks over, like the upper body is out of proportion, very long arms, sort of between the two. And Darwin talks to Pickles. This seems to be a surprise to your friend. Why is that?
Honestly, we're not too familiar with whatever is actually happening with the Ripper. I
10 more points to Gryffindor.
why does it look like Torg?
Oh, it didn't look like that before. Oh, Rippers are as dangerous as they are because that species is capable of adaptive evolution. Has it been in the company of Torg for a long time?
To my recollection, it's been in the company of Torg for an extremely long time.
And
Whole life.
And is Torg noticeably tough?
Torg
Would
is
be something to be emulated?
Torg, without a doubt, may be, in fact, the strongest being I've ever encountered. So, yes.
So that's what Rippers do, is they use adaptive evolution to pick up traits that make them tougher. And apparently, this one considers being Torg to be tougher. And he turns
Fascinating.
around and says, yeah.
Wait, Chaz turns around and says, yeah?
Yep.
What?
I need that on a shirt, but
So at this point, Chaz staggers a little bit, and Darwin comes in with the medical bag and says, well, I've got good news and bad news. The adaptation has made it so that it's adapted to its lair, which is not here. We need to leave. It shouldn't be in the red zone anymore. Wherever it calls home, that's where it'll be healthy now.
oh,
Oh,
well, let's go.
adaptive evolution. It adapted to wherever it was, whatever this, right? You certainly understand. He nods affably, and Chaz goes, uh-huh. And you drive out of the rad zone, and Chaz sits down cross-legged, and he goes crisscross applesauce and sits down next to Torg. So snacks. Yeah.
Torg have snacks for Chaz.
Yeah. Claws. And the van drives away. And I think we would then, the shot, we would see Gordon the Owl flying after the van. And I think we're going to spend a little on effects and pull the camera all the way to space.
Our budget is unlimited for this.
Right?
Man.
I like to pretend that we're on a budget, but I think we will then see one of the satellites repositioning to point down at Bastion.
Oh, yeah.
And that will be the end of the session.
Hey.
So before we go, hand over to Shannon. We did have a slide up. Can you go ahead and put the extra life slide back up, Colt?
Oh, yeah.
It's
coming up.
So Colt and I are doing a extra life fundraising stream, gaming to benefit sick kids. And we're having a series of 6 guests, which includes Nuked favorites such as Shannon McCormick, Mike Delonzo, Hannah McCarthy, Todd Dashwick, and Tanya plays Twofer. And who's the final person? Oh, you don't. Barrett, yes.
So yeah, that's our 6. That's
a trainload of
all
Nuked.
6 have appeared on Nuked.
Excellent. And that's happening on Saturday, and we're going to get together to talk characters and like shoot the shit at around 11. And the game proper starts noon to midnight. And if nothing else, can be fun watching like an old dude try to do 12 hours gaming straight. I'm going to consume about 13 liters of Diet Coke, and come on by. It's going to be a huge amount of fun. I promise to be brutal. And the players and the guests are super great fun. First time I'm going to get a chance to play with Colt in person. I'm not sure I've even seen Colt in the physical form. Okay, and I'll hand back over to Shannon.
Hey, thank you, everybody, for attending our show tonight. As we do every time, we would like to thank Andreas Fabus, our wonderful narrator. We'd like to thank our friends in the moderation room. We'd like to thank Sabrina Grimstad, our chronicler of all the events and keeper of the knowledge that we have of like what's happened, if we ever get lost of what happened in which episodes. And of course, the man who makes it all happen, in addition to Mike Nystul, who writes the adventures, but the other man who makes it all happen, the man who's never met Mike Nystul in person, in space, our technical director, Colt Joyce. Thank you very, very much. And until next week, it's the same crew, but we'll be joined by your fave and mine, former Rooster Teeth Ruby writer, Mr. Miles Luna, will be joining us on our stream next week. So please come check it out. Miles is a blast. And until then, we will see you in the wasteland.